when it came up to make a show here, I looked at the space, and I mean the space is quite special. It's quite specific in a way. So it's not a space that is made, what a painter would see as the perfect space. Talking about this idea of a white cube of representing painting, is very difficult here. So the first thing I thought, okay, I have to install something that gives me a sort of display, that gives me the opportunity to either show the drawings or show paintings. That's my practice, what I do. But also I wanted to expand this, to expand this or explore the boundaries of myself. How I can get out of this usual framework of okay, you have like 15 frame drawings, you put them all like on the walls, and then you have a show. So for me, it was a kind of experiment. That's why I also used this title for the show, which I thought about it, and I think it was on the train ride actually to Ghent when I came to this title. That for me, this eventuality of an attempt means something like a possibility. You have several choices, but in the end it always stays an attempt. It's not a definite. There's no conclusio. And so I came to the space, and I worked in the space on the walls, but on a very in a very direct way. I'm not a painter that decides beforehand doing a show exactly which color comes on which wall. I mean, I have a kind of a slight idea, but things can always change in the very last minute, and I'm very much a person that works in the space. I'm not building models, for example, for exhibitions. Some people do that. They build these little cardboard boxes, and they put little paintings inside to look. I think that doesn't work for me. I'm a very direct artist in terms of dealing with space and dealing with a specific situation. And coming to this object or to this form is very easy explained, because mostly in my drawings I came to this system of using this cross or this division of the paper in 4 squares, which happened at some point in my artistic production and my career as an artist, where there was some things changing, and I needed also a changement from the things I did before, and I had this cross, or this structure is a kind of for me, I see it as kind of a construction line which helped me to rethink my own work, rethink my own painting, and helped me to get more into this, let's call it abstract painting in a way. Earlier I used much more figurative elements in my work, which are now completely gone. And this form of the cross also refers to this idea of the window that now comes often in my work, this idea about the inside and the outside, but also of when you see the sculptures, also of the stretches of a canvas, you know. Painting, for me, or making art, produces more questions than it gives answers. And for me, most of the art that interests me, or what I find interesting, is things that are not they don't explain itself to me instantly. I'm interested in things that slightly disturb me in a certain way, or where I have no clue why there's something I cannot understand in the work. And I think that's for me that's a very integral part of making art, or of whether it's painting or whatever. It's just this keeping this sublime, this slight note of sublime in the work, where it's not very clear what it is and why it is, because then it creates questions. You will ask yourself questions where there's probably no answers. When you enter the space, you have this little image glued to the wall, and it's really funny because I I found this image 3 or 4 days ago in the internet. Well, I don't even know how I got to find it or got to this website. You know, it's this moments when you sometimes have you working on something and then it's like searching. It's a bit like searching for gold, but without knowing that you search for something, and then all of a sudden you stumble over it, and then somehow it makes things clear, and that's why I used it. And I thought like I have to use this image somehow. Actually the description of the image what I got as a source. Well, it's from a book that deals with the idea of memory and of space and how you measure memory. That's also very how do you measure like memory or space and in the Middle Age they had this abstract idea of like the memory or this space that surrounds us, what we can reach with our arms. It's this 2 square meters around us, this kind of immaterial, non-visible, let's say, what would you call that, area of where you move, what you can touch, what you can reach. What in German I would say like Handlungsraum, like the room of the room of action. You have, and I found it quite interesting because also this image, this person in the image makes this kind of, you know, he stretches one arm to the top and to the side, and then there's this strange wooden bar or I don't know what it is that measures the distance to the other side, and it forms a cross, and he's standing in this window, which is either not clear whether the window opens to the inside or to the outside, because the landscape it's of course, I mean, it's from 1530 something, and it's a woodcut, so it's not they didn't have the perspective or this kind of focus or what is in the back and in the front, which is also a kind of interesting point maybe, or something that is important for my work. This point, this focus, this target that crosses a target, this kind of eternal idea about eternity, about disappearing, about the horizon, and yeah, this image is quite. I thought it's somehow disturbing and it's somehow interesting, because it relates so much to that what I'm trying to find, maybe, or maybe it's about memory. Maybe all these mirrors and these windows is about defining or measuring our own room of action, probably.